When you can't make it to City Hall or the school board meetings, local journalists from Duluth News Tribune will be there to report the facts and get your questions answered. Local news works for you. Stay up to date at duluthnewstribune.com.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Tuesday, August 8th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
It's primary election day here in Duluth. If you live in the city and haven't yet cast your vote for mayor, city council, and school board, check out our voter's guide at duluthnewstribune.com. There you'll find Q&As with the candidates, links to polling places, columns from the candidates, endorsements, and more. And stick with us tonight as we follow the election and post results on our website. Now, here's a look at today's headlines. A man has pleaded guilty to fatally assaulting his girlfriend in their Hibbing apartment last year. Eric James Jarvis, 47, entered a Norgard plea Monday to first-degree manslaughter in the June 2022 death of Carrie Jo Petrich, 43. A Norgard plea allows a defendant to acknowledge that sufficient evidence exists for prosecutors to obtain a conviction, while maintaining that he was too intoxicated at the time of the offense to recall the full circumstances. Authorities said Petrich was struck with a blunt object and may have been left on the floor for up to 24 hours, while Jarvis cleaned up the crime scene. The mother of 4 and grandmother of 2 likely would have survived, a medical examiner said, had she received immediate attention after the assault. The St. Louis County Attorney's Office amended the charge from a more serious count of intentional second-degree murder. Under the terms of a plea agreement, Jarvis is expected to receive just over 8.5 years in prison, which falls at the top of the presumed sentencing range under state guidelines. Judge Michelle Anderson, who had been scheduled to preside over a jury trial in the case this week, ordered an investigation of Jarvis's background ahead of sentencing September 14th. Court documents indicate Jarvis told police he probably fought with Petrich but could not recall the circumstances of how she suffered a head injury that resulted in severe bruising and blood loss. A criminal complaint said officers were called to the Meadowview Apartments at 3505 9th Avenue West twice June 26th, finding Jarvis and Petrich clearly intoxicated and arguing but no signs of any physical altercation. Jarvis reportedly wanted Petrich taken to detox. Petrich told officers during the second call, around 10:30 p.m., that Jarvis had struck her in the head and that she was bleeding, but officers said she had no observable injuries at the time, so they cleared the scene. Jarvis next called police at 12:55 a.m. June 28th to report that Petrich was unconscious and cold to the touch. The complaint states that it was easily apparent Petrich was dead, and it appeared her body had been cleaned, though her hoodie was soaked with blood. Jarvis allegedly claimed to investigators that Petrich had the facial injury since June 25th and didn't know where they came from. In another interview, he reportedly stated he believed the victim had been lying on the floor without moving since the afternoon of June 26th. An autopsy found that Petrich died from blunt head trauma. Petrich grew up in the Kelly Lake area of Hibbing and spent much of her adult life working as a certified nursing assistant for Alzheimer's patients at assisted living facilities, according to an obituary. A former Superior Gymnastics coach has pleaded no contest to child sexual assault charges in Douglas County Circuit Court. George Francis Deppa, 50, on July 24th pleaded no contest to 2 counts of second-degree assault of a child and 1 count of exposing genitals to the child. A 3rd count of second-degree sexual assault of a child was dismissed but read in for sentencing. Sentencing was set for December 13th. The state is requesting no more than 25 years initial confinement, and the defense is requesting no less than 20 years as part of a joint recommendation, according to online court records. The proposed sentence, which includes 15 years of extended supervision, would run concurrent to any other sentence. Among the conditions being recommended are lifetime sex offender registry and no contact with minors without agent approval. Deppa pleaded guilty to a federal pornography charge in June before U.S. District Judge Kate Menendez. He is yet to be sentenced. Deppa is also facing child sex assault charges in St. Louis County. Second-degree sexual assault of a child is a Class C felony punishable by up to 40 years of imprisonment and a fine up to $100,000. Deppa remained in custody at the Douglas County Jail on Monday. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by Superior Telegram's history podcast, Archive Dive.
Duluth area weather for today, generally sunny and mild with a high temperature around the low to mid-80s. West winds at about 5 to 15 miles an hour. Widely scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight, mostly very late tonight after midnight with a low temperature in the upper 50s. And then a few leftover showers early on Wednesday, widely scattered, turning sunny to partly cloudy, cooler with a high in the mid to upper 70s. Thursday looks mostly sunny with a high in the 70s, chance of rain again on Friday. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist John Wheeler.
Thank you to Archive Dive for their support. The monthly history podcast, hosted by Superior Telegram reporter Maria Lockwood, dips into the archives of historic events, people, and places around Superior and Douglas County. You can find the latest episode of Archive Dive at superiortelegram.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Tom Olson and Maria Lockwood. Thank you for listening to the Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.